Hi, I'm Kurt Runsheimer. I'm with the MSCR Fitness Program, and this class is Hatha Yoga. It's a fairly challenging sequence for building strength, flexibility, and body awareness. And we'll start at the front of our mat, so go ahead and stand at the front of your mat. Just standing with your feet parallel, about hip width apart, a little bend in the knees, and the core of your body upright. And the arms just relax down away from your shoulders. Taking a balanced breath or two to get centered for a moment. All right, good. And from here, we're going to make our way towards the ground. So we'll step our feet apart to a wide-legged stance to start. Feet are still parallel, a little bend in the knees. All right, good. And we're going to make a few repetitions, just practicing bending forward in a way that keeps our legs strong. A nice bend at the hips as we get ready to come down toward the floor. So, starting with the bend forward of the knees, find your sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis. Give a nice press back through the sitting bones. A sense of a forward press out through the top of your head. So that what we call the core of your body, from the sitting bones to the head, has a sense of lengthening by being pressed out through the ends of the core. And as a result, the spine will have a nice length to it as well. Weight is still balanced on the feet. Find the soles of your feet and give a nice press down through the soles of the feet and push the big core of your body back up. We'll just do a couple repetitions of that, bending the knees forward, a nice press back through the sitting bones to help make a nice clear bend of the hips, and a nice press out through the head to keep the core long and extended as you come down. A nice press into the feet again, and a push right back up. And then one more time, bending the knees forward, a nice press back through the sitting bones to come down. If the body bends well, the legs and the hips, hopefully then the hands can come down to the ground, about shoulder width apart. Now we can just step our body right back into an inclined plane position, often called a push-up position or a plank position. In this sequence, we'll just refer to it as an inclined plane. So there's a feeling of straightness through the body as you extend through the legs. And keep the core of the body, from the pelvis to the rib cage to the head, at an upward incline relative to the legs. A little broadness to the elbows, and then a nice press down into the hands and fronts of the feet there to build strength for a moment in inclined plane by pressing into your base. The base in yoga refers to what part of you is on the ground, and in many positions you'll get asked to hold the position still and make a press into what in the given position is your base, in this case the hands and fronts of the feet. All right, good. From there back to downward dog. So nice down and forward press through the center palms of the hands. A nice up and backward press through the sitting bones opposite that. So once again, there's a feeling hopefully of lengthening the core of your body by pressing out through the hands and then back through the sitting bones opposite that. Still a little broadness of the elbows and shoulders away from the ears. All right, good. And then down to the knees and down to the ground. All right, good. Now once we're on the ground here, we'll start in what we call the prone mountain position. When you're standing upright at the front of your mat to start class, that's called the mountain position. So we're going to set up the face down mountain position, which has a similar alignment to when we're standing upright. So to do that, we'll lift the head up and turn the face to look at the floor. Shoulders can lift to the sides, hands can lift to the sides, so the arm is at the side of the body. And a little bend in the knees brings the feet up. And a flexion of the ankles can have the feet parallel to the back wall. So now it's like we were standing in mountain and we got tipped face down onto the floor. From here, this will lead into two positions, locust and then cobra. So find the front of the pelvis, give a press down into the floor through the front of the pelvis, and lift the spine up off the ground and down. And that's called locust. So pelvis presses down, sternum lifting up, creating a backwards curve through the lower to middle spine, and down. Good, and up and hold that locust. Pelvis still pressing down. Sternum is lifted up, so the spine creates a little bit of a side of the body. And with the ankles flexed back there, imagine the wall behind you is moving at you. And see if you can press into your feet strongly to make the legs strong and stable as though they can stop the back wall from moving at you. And then come down. And then to cobra, bringing the hands up towards the chest. Middle fingers are straight ahead. Elbows are out maybe 45 degrees or so away from the sides. And the shoulder blades are away from the ears. And for some, if the wrists or arms are uncomfortable in this position or even painful, this can be modified by walking the hands a little forward and a little wider if that helps. And if need be, the position can even be done with the elbows on the ground, more of a mild version of cobra. So with the hands ultimately at the chest, press into the front of the pelvis again, press into the hands, and coming up into cobra, up and down. Good, 3 or 4 times, pelvis pressing down, and in this case the pelvis actually tips backwards as well. Good, and down. So the little bony reference point at the front of your pelvis, called pubic joint or pubic symphysis, you're going to roll over that as you come up into cobra, but you're not actually going to lift that point off the ground. And as the pelvis tips backwards, the lower to middle spine curves backwards, and then hold for a moment, elbows a little bit broad, shoulder blades down from the ears, and a good solid press into the hands to stabilize cobra and increase the arm strength there, pressing into your base again. All right, good, and then come down. And from there, we'll head over onto the back. So, rolling over onto that instead. All right, good. And we'll just start straight in the back with the legs out along the floor for a moment. Just taking a couple balance breaths there. All right, good. And we'll start in what's called the bridge position, where you can take your feet, walk them up close to your hips, keeping the feet and thighs parallel, about hip width apart. And here you could choose if you want your arms out along the floor, a little bit away from your sides, you can. Or if you prefer to create more of a stable right angle to your arms, you can bend the elbows. So the elbows are on the ground and the fingertips are straight up, with the palms of the hands turned toward the head. So whichever works best for you, you can choose for now. All right, good. And then a bridge. Find the soles of your feet again. Give a nice press down into the soles of the feet, and lift the pelvis up into bridge. And down, and up, and down, and up and hold and bridge. And while holding bridge, so keep a nice balanced press down into the soles of the feet. A good lift up to the front of the pelvis again, all the way to where there's a straightness through the hips, but we're not actually lifting so high that the spine starts to arch like cobra. Just to a straightness of the hips. And come down. All right, good. And now bringing the right knee up toward the chest. And then putting the right foot up as though it was ready to hold the ceiling up there. All right, good. In the next few movements, you'll be given an image of perhaps the ceiling falling down on your foot, or perhaps the wall at the end of your mat moving at you. Just to give your mind a chance to connect with the sole of your foot and how to use it as a pushing platform to bring strength through the legs and a clear connection right through the sole of the foot. So as you're here on your back, now you're going to imagine that the ceiling is going to come down upon your foot. And notice my leg isn't straight here, but it actually has dropped a little from the ceiling by increasing the bend of the knee and hip. That'll make my leg ultimately more stable and strong. And then imagining the ceiling coming down onto my foot, I'm going to press into my foot and make my own leg stable and strong using the imagined resistance of the ceiling against the sole of the foot to build strength and stability in the leg for a moment. All right, good. Give a little lift to the upper body toward the leg. Grab the back of the leg. Bring that knee in closer to you. So now the knee comes closer to the chest, which is mostly hip flexion that's increased there. Foot still ready to hold the ceiling up, and then give a nice press up into the foot. Maybe imagining a 40-pound piece of ceiling coming down on your foot, and you pressing into your foot to make your leg stable and strong as though it could hold that up. And then a nice strong pull down on the leg with the arms. So my arms are literally pulling down on the leg with a good 40 stuff into and resisting that. And then switch. Right foot down, other leg up then, knee toward the chest. Set that press of the knee toward the chest very strong there. That's called hip flexion. Keep that very strong. And then pivot the foot up to hold the ceiling up. And then send that nice press into the foot again. You do a 40-pound press to hold the ceiling up. Building strength as you connect to the foot through the leg. And then lift up. Grab that leg. Bring it in closer to you. And with the knee having coming closer now, which again is mostly increasing the flexion of the hip. Press into the left foot again. Nice strong pull down with the arms. Like the leg would be strong enough to hold a 40-pound piece of ceiling up. Arms are pulling, giving that leg the true resistance to work against. Good. And then back down. Back to bridge. And lifting into bridge again. And then come down. All right, good. Now, bring both knees up, past the hips. Now, both legs are coming up like the one leg did a moment ago. When you do that, when the knees come up past the hips toward the chest, it should feel like the pelvis tips a little bit. And the lower back becomes flattened as part of the lower back rounding the opposite direction now. So the lower back should feel flat on the floor here and should stay that way now the whole time. Lift the upper body toward the legs, looking at the wall right out between your feet. Now imagine that big heavy wall has come up against your feet. Take the right foot and push the wall straight out and switch. Good, alternating back and forth. Concentrating on being given a nice, even, strong press as though it could push the wall away from you, while the other leg is coming back in, flexing its ankle, getting ready to be the next pusher. All the while, the lower back is held flat, and the abdominals are strong. All right, good. Back in. Back to bridge. And lifting into bridge again. All right, good. And then come down. Now in bridge. No matter how you've chosen to have your arms at this point, up to this point. At this point, take the arms and actually bend them and create that right ankle to the arm. The elbows aren't scrunched in against your side, but they're a little bit broad. Palms of the hands can be turned toward the head end of your mat. All right, good. And at this moment, we're just going to do what we call a backline elbow press to build strength in the upper back and a nice awareness of how the shoulder blades relate to the upper back. So remind your shoulder blades to be away from your ears. Remind your core from the head to the pelvis that it's not going to get pushed around by your arms in just a moment. So the core is going to keep itself stable, no arching of the back or tipping of the ribs. And then with the elbows on the ground and the shoulder blades in good alignment, take the elbows and give a nice press straight down into the floor. So each elbow is exerting a force of press straight into the floor, equal to the other elbow. And as you make that nice press into the floor through the elbows, hopefully it feels like the shoulder blades are being stabilized and nice and soundly up against the upper back behind you. And noticing that it takes a lot of musculature around the upper back, shoulder blade, shoulder to do that. Good. As you relax that press to the elbows, notice how much musculature throughout the upper back and shoulder area relaxed. And then again, one more time, nice press down into the elbows. Again, how the shoulder blades stabilize strongly up against the upper back from behind, resulting in a lot of upper back strength to do that. Good. And then relax that press to the elbows. All right, good. From here, we're going to go on to think about the ceiling now again with both feet. So both knees can come up past the hips, and then both feet can come up as though they're ready to hold the ceiling up. All right, again, imagine a big heavy piece of ceiling coming down on your feet and press into your feet strongly. As though the two legs can hold the ceiling up with a good clear press to the feet. Legs are still parallel, about hip width apart here. And now we'll do with two legs what we did with one a little while ago. Lift the upper body toward the legs. Now I'm going to grab the two legs and bring them in closer to us. You can choose. Do you want to grab the back of your thighs, or do you want to grab the ankles? It's up to you. In either case, bring the two legs down closer to you. Check that your shoulders are away from the ears. There's plenty of bend in the elbows. You have a good grip on your legs. And then press up into your feet again, solidly and strongly. Strong enough to hold the ceiling up by pressing into your feet, and then a nice strong pull down on the legs with the arms, actually giving the legs a good downward resistance to work against. So the press up and the pull down for balance. Still a balanced breath inside with an even inhale and exhale. Good. And then back down and back to bridge. And lifting into bridge again. I'll notice sometimes when I do bridge, I'll have my arms along the floor. Sometimes I'll have my elbows bent. Just to realize that both are perfectly fine ways to have your arms in bridge, with the idea being that you're really stabilizing the arm all the way up to the shoulder blade in bridge. You're not trying to pull the shoulders together behind you or arch your back at all. All right, good. And come down. And once again, both feet can come up as though they're ready to hold the ceiling up. I'm going to switch my orientation here so you can see the position a little more clearly, perhaps. All right, good. So both feet now can come up, ready to hold the ceiling up, same position as last time. And then we're going to take the legs this time and press the legs apart to a wide leg stance. And then back in. And apart. And in. And apart and hold in a wide leg stance. So the thighs and legs are pressing strongly apart. You can hold that press at the end of the movement to build strength. What's called abduction of the hips. Good, now imagine that flat ceiling up above you. Lift up toward the legs, grab the legs again. You can choose if you grab the ankles or if you want to grab the thighs, it's up to you. In either case, bring the legs down closer to the floor, keeping it a wide leg stance. And now notice my feet as I imagine one flat level ceiling up above me. I'm going to turn the soles of my feet to face straight up together. That's called inversion of the foot, as the foot turns from a little bit outward facing to upward facing. All right, good. Then imagine the ceiling coming down on the feet again. A nice strong press into the feet and a nice pull down with the arms on the legs again. Still a balanced breath, shoulders away from the ears, and a good grip on the legs. Good. Back in. Back to bridge. Okay, press to the feet again and lifting into bridge. All right, good. And then come down. I'll take the same starting point of the legs into a twist. So both feet up again to hold the ceiling up. All right, good. And now we're going to take both legs to the left and to the right, turning it into an extended leg supine twist here. So be sure that both hands, both elbows, and both shoulder blades stay on the ground. You don't want your arms up as high as or even above the shoulders. You want them down maybe 45 to 60 degrees or so away from your side. And then taking both legs together to the left and to the right. Good, 3 or 4 times, back and forth, from side to side. Now I'm kind of demonstrating the idea that the legs could go down almost parallel to the floor, and that the soles of the feet could end up almost parallel to the side wall. Feel free to modify this, making it a smaller twist from left to right. Obviously, the strength work gets pretty challenging quickly as the legs go from side to side. So only move the legs as much as is reasonable for you. But as you build strength in this movement, the legs can challenge themselves toward parallel to the floor. And then as you come to the right and hold, imagine perhaps how that the side wall is going to move at your feet. So lift the upper body toward the feet and just press into your feet strongly as though your legs could stop the side wall from moving at you while holding the twist. Good, up and over to the other side, letting the head come down for a moment. The legs can go down the second side. Holding there for a moment. Lift up toward the feet and press into the feet so they can stop the side wall from moving at you on the other side. Good, back up. And back to bridge. And lifting into bridge again. All right, good. And then come down. And we'll finish up on our backs here with 2 more movements. So this time we'll start with the legs out along the floor. All right, good. We'll set up what we call the supine mountain position, a backline mountain position. So just like standing in mountain, we'll have you bend the knees a little bit and flex the ankles so the foot is perpendicular to the rest of the body. It would look like I was standing upright and someone tipped me down on my back right now. It's called the supine mountain position, backline mountain. All right, from here, this will give rise to a split leg stance where the right knee can come up past the hip again toward the chest, and the right foot can go up, ready to hold the ceiling up. And then press into the right foot again, making that leg stable and strong with a good press to the foot. And just like we did before, lift up, grab the right leg, bring it down closer to you. Remember, you could either grab the thigh and bring the leg in closer, or you can grab up on the ankle if you prefer. But now notice what a long distance there is between the right knee and the left foot. And a good press up into the right foot, a nice strong pull down with the arms upon the leg. Holding that press and pull for maybe 3 to 5 seconds or so. And then switch. Right leg out on the floor with its little bend in the knee and flex ankle. Left knee up toward the chest. Left foot up to hold the ceiling up. Flexing the left ankle again, keeping plenty of bend in the knee and hip as well. Pressing into that left foot to make it stable and strong. And then lift up, grab the left leg, bringing it in towards you. The shoulders away from the ears, plenty of bend in the elbows. And once again, noticing the long distance between the right foot now and the left knee. Almost like a backline lunge type position. Really important beneficial movement for flexibility as well as strength. So good press up into the left foot again. And a nice pull down with the arms upon the leg, maybe 40 pounds of pull. Checking that the shoulders are away from the ears. Plenty of bend in the elbows. Good. Back down. Back to bridge. And lifting into bridge again. All right, good. And then come down. And we'll end with one more movement here on our back. So we take the left leg up. I'll show you from a different direction here again. So we're going to take the left leg, lift it up, and cross the outside of the left heel over to the right thigh. And here you can choose. There's a progression of the heel sliding from the knee down the thigh eventually, but it shouldn't be in a way that hurts the knee or the hip at all. So we'll say put your left heel over on the right thigh, anywhere from the knee to the hip that feels like it's not in any way negative to the knee or hip. All right, good. This is setting up what's called an external hip rotation, where the front of the thigh is now turning out away from forward direction toward the side. All right, good. And then lift the upper body toward the legs. Pick the right foot up and start moving the right knee toward the chest. And as the right knee is moving toward the chest, taking the left knee and pressing it away from the chest. So here you're holding an external hip rotation while flexing the rest of your body, still with a balanced breath. Good, and then back down. Putting the left foot down, this time taking the right leg, lifting the right leg up, crossing the outside of the right heel over the left thigh, putting that heel somewhere down the thigh between the knee and the hip again, in a way that isn't problematic for the knee. All right, good, and then I'll lift up the upper body toward the legs. Pick the left knee up, starting to move the left knee toward the chest. And then at some point, starting to press the right knee away from the chest while the left knee moves toward the chest. Feeling how that right thigh is turning out toward the side as you do that in an external hip rotation. Good, back down. And one last time for now. A nice press to the feet and lifting into bridge. All right, good. And then come down. Back over onto the front again. We're going to repeat one more round of prone mountain, locust and cobra, and we'll add one little part to locust this time. Okay, so setting up prone mountain first, face down mountain position where the face is looking straight at the floor, the shoulder and hand are at the side of the body, elbows are a touch broad, little bend in the knees brings the feet up, and a strong ankle flexion has the feet parallel to the wall behind you. And this time when we hold locust, we're going to imagine the wall coming at us behind us and make the legs stable and strong. And then imagine perhaps that there's a chair, just a simple folding chair out in front of you with somebody sitting on it. And You're going to pull that folding chair back and towards you. You'll see how that increases the strength through the arms and upper back as you do that. All right, good. As well as the muscles along the lower spine as well. All right, so first, a few repeats into locust. Press the pelvis down, lifting the spine up and down. Good. 3 or 4 times. Inhale up as you press the pelvis down. As the sternum lifts up, eventually even clearing the lowest ribs as you lift into locust. And down. And up. And down. Good. Inhale up and hold in locust, but not actually holding the breath. So just a basic balanced breath. Good pressing of the feet as though the legs now are stable and strong to stop the back wall from moving at you. And as you bring your hands forward to grab that imaginary chair out in front of you, keep your shoulders back from the ears. Imagine grabbing the back legs of a folding chair with someone sitting on it. And now with that strong resistance through the arms, good pull with the arms. As the elbows go behind you, shoulder blades should strongly anchor the arms against the upper back. Good. And then come down. And on to cobras. Bringing the hands towards the chest again. Elbows out maybe 45 or so degrees. Press to the front of the pelvis. Pressing into the hands. And coming up into cobra. Up and down. So 3 or 4 times. Coming up and down in cobra. Remember, something like cobra, you're free to modify by having the wrists out in front of you a little, maybe a little bit wider. So it's not problematic at all for the wrists. Good. Eventually, even if need be, keeping the arms, the forearms on the ground as you lift into a more miniature version of cobra. Just hand down. And then up and hold in cobra. So good press to the center front of the pelvis and to the palms of the hands and the leg go out in front of you. In a way that stabilizes cobra strongly. A good press to the hands in front of the pelvis. All right, good. And then come down. And then bring the hands up under the chin for a moment, giving the arms a rest. Take the left leg, up leg frog. And if you can, reach back now. We're going to grab the left foot behind you. And in this movement, again, you want to be careful that you're not putting any pressure on the knee or the hip in any way. So if you can, reaching back and grabbing the foot and then starting to bring the heel up closer to you. And this is essentially a full bending of the knee here. But also in this movement, as soon as the leg starts to relax and the knee is allowed to bend, you can find the front of the pelvis again and give a press down into the front of the pelvis. So by pressing the pelvis down, it should feel like you're straightening across that left hip. But make the press from the center of the pelvis. So now you're fully bending the knee and straightening through the hip. And then for a second variation here, we'll just take the foot, back it out a little bit. And now as though the foot wants to push back and straighten the leg, start to take the foot and make a push back away from the pelvis toward the wall behind you. Immediately the arm can step in and pull against the pushing foot. So now the arm is giving that leg a good resistance to push against while the knee is very bent. And still the pelvis can press down toward the floor. All right, good. And switch. The right leg can come up like frog. Reaching back, grabbing that foot again. Sometimes in this movement it helps to roll onto your side. Bring the knee up toward the chest. Grab that foot. Sometimes that allows us easier ability to grab that foot. And then you can start to straighten the knee out behind you, keeping the 2 thighs essentially parallel hip width apart. Sometimes even after doing that, the body can then roll back onto its front. Continuing to bring the heel toward the back of the pelvis. And at some point into that, pressing the front of the pelvis toward the floor, so you're straightening through the hips while fully bending the knee. And then back the foot out a little bit again. And then a nice push back with the foot. A pull with the arm against the pushing back foot. And still a press to the front of the pelvis. All right, good. Straighten the leg back up. All right, great. Bring the hands toward the chest. And coming back up to kneeling table. All right, good. So we've made it up to all fours here. And what we'll do next is we'll take a few moments and make a couple repetitions going from downward dog back to that inclined plane or push-up position. And then we'll hold that and incorporate a few push-ups. So here we go. In kneeling table here, the hips are essentially straight over the knees, and the arms can be out in front of the shoulders at a little bit of an angle. And remind the core of your body from the pelvis, rib cage to head to keep a lift up away from the floor. So the core of the body is at a little bit of an incline from the hips to the shoulders to the head. So the heads aren't hanging down, the rib cage isn't dropping down, but you're lifted and strong up against the shoulder blades. And that stays the whole time now. So curl the toes under, we're going to head to downward dog again, lifting the knees up, and make a nice push back to downward dog there. Giving that nice down and forward press to the hands, a nice up and backward press through the sitting bones. Incorporating that length through the core of the body. All right, good. Now from here, we're going to go back out to inclined plane, but I like to have you incorporate the idea of your legs being strong pushers. So almost like perhaps a swimmer, ready to push off the wall after a flip turn. Bend the knees and hips and ankles so the legs are coming down and you're getting a strong push ready with the legs. And now give a nice push from the feet right out to inclined plane. So the legs are extending as you make that push. Once again, elbows are a touch broad, and then press into the hands and fronts of the feet there for a few seconds to build strength in inclined plane. Not just by holding the position, but by also pressing into your base. Good, back to downward dog. Now we're going to go one more time out to inclined plane, and this time add a few push-ups. So as you push off the feet, coming out to inclined plane again. Here you can decide, you can keep your knees off the ground, or if it seems more reasonable, bringing the knees down to the ground to a kneeling inclined plane. In either case now, 3 to 4 repetitions of trying to lower the straight core of your body and legs towards just off the floor. And a push back up. Good, 3 or 4 times. Down and up. Keeping the body and legs straight in line with each other. And then back up. Good. Back to downward dog. Down to the knees. And now down to the elbows for a position called elbow dog. All right, good. So you're coming down onto the forearms. Forearms are just a touch wider than shoulder width apart. And once again, check the core of your body isn't dropping toward the floor. That's lifted up strongly against the shoulder blades. All right, good. And check that the shoulder blades are away from the ears, and that they're not drifting up toward the ears. All right, good. Curl the toes under. We're about to lift the knees off the ground. Before you do, find the elbows to the hands and press the forearms down strongly. Remind the face and sternum to stay lifted, the shoulders to stay away from the ears. And then with that press to the forearms, lifting the knees up. And let everything tip forward a little bit, out toward the arms. Maybe even walking the feet toward the arms a little. And once you're there, press the forearms down again. Keep the face and sternum lifting up. Keep the shoulders back from the ears. And then come down. All right, good. From there, back to kneeling table. Now we're going to make a couple passes from downward dog to what's called upward dog. Upward dog is essentially like cobra off the ground. So something like cobra is well uncomfortable for your lower back. Be cautious here in upward dog. So you can always choose to just make another repeat out to inclined plane and then back to downward dog as opposed to coming down to upward dog. So lifting the knees up, heading back to downward dog again. Gather up a good push of the legs, almost like a swimmer ready to push off the wall. And then a nice push right out to inclined plane. Elbows are stable and broad, good lift of the sternum. And then to upward dog, where the pelvis can come down. Yet the sternum keeps a lift up, so you're still up against the shoulder blades. And what looks like cobra suspended off the ground, and a good press to the hands and fronts of the feet. downward dog. And then again, gather up and push in the legs. Forward to incline plane. Elbow stable, good lift to the sternum. And then to upward dog. Back to downward dog. All right, down to the knees. From here, we're going to head to what's called boat position, and then to just a couple sitting positions. So from here, just come right down, sitting with the legs out in front of you. All right, before we do a couple sitting positions, we're going to do what's called boat. Definitely one of the most favorite positions of people in my class, because it's tough. Here we go. Tipping back onto your sacrum, so you're actually balancing on the back of the pelvis here. We're going to imagine the wall out in front of you is moving at you again, and we have to push it away from us 3 times. So bring the legs in a little closer, feet are ready to push the wall away from you, and then 3 times, give a good push out with the legs, and then back in, and out, and in, and out, and in. Good. From there, back to bridge for a moment, and lifting into bridge. All right, good. Now while we're holding bridge, find your left foot. Give a good strong press into your left foot. Lift the right foot up off the ground without dropping out of bridge, and put the right foot up to hold the ceiling up. And while holding bridge, a good press down into the left foot, a nice press into the right foot so you can hold the ceiling from falling on you again, while still holding the body all the way up in bridge. And then back down to reposition the feet. Good press into the feet again, lifting into bridge. This time find the right foot, give a good press to the right foot, and bring the left foot up. Ready to hold the ceiling up, and a good press down into the right foot, and up into the left foot. And then back down. All right, good. From here, we'll roll back up again, lift the upper body up, the upper body strongly toward the legs, and give a little roll right back up. And this time taking the legs out in front of you for just a couple sitting positions. All right, good. So with the legs out in front of you, instead of having the legs just kind of relax and lock at the knees, you're going to have you bend the ankles, knees, and hips. So all 3 of the big leg joints are up strong in flexion. The feet are up with the soles parallel to the wall in front of you. Flexing out over the legs to grab the lower legs there if you can. All right, good. Find the core of your body from the head to the sitting bones again, and give that press down and back through the sitting bones and up and out through the head. You're extending your core by pressing through its ends like you did way back at the beginning of class. Shoulders, try not to be up at the neck, but away from the ears, and give a good press into the feet as though the legs could stop the wall from moving at you. And a nice pull with the arms, maybe 40 pounds of pull on the legs again. Good balanced breath. All right, good. And then back up. And then maybe one more position on the sitting, bound angle, where you can bring both feet together to meet in the middle there. Good. Hands come in perhaps and cradle the feet a little bit. All right, good. And then in bound angle, once again, find your core from the sitting bones to the head. Press down through the sitting bones and extend up through the head. And then find the knees and give them a press down toward the floor. So wide leg external hip rotation here, the knees pressing down. Core of the body extending up. Good, and then come down. All right, from here we'll spin around back to the knees, and now we'll come all the way up onto the knees here. And we're going to do a little sequence that goes from kneeling warrior all the way to upright, up onto our feet, and then all the way back down. This is a challenging sequence. Balance is going to be very challenging here for some. So feel free, you're going to ultimately be up on your feet with one heel lifted off the ground and back. So feel free to grab a folding chair, be near a cupboard, something that can help you with balance here if need be. Right? So if you're at all uncertain, feel free to watch the first time we run through this, and then have whatever you need near you to help with balance. So, all right, so for this kneeling position, you also can put a little pad under your knee, etc., like a kneeling pad or a folded up towel if it feels like it's hard to be on your knee. We're only actually going to be on the knees very briefly here, so if you need to bypass the part where we're on our knee and then pick up again, we're going to lift the knee off the ground, that's totally fine. So, all right, so right knee is underneath you, left leg can step out in front of you. So the shin is angled forward to a pointed foot out there, so that the knee clearly has room to move to get out to where the center of the foot is. Right knee is straight underneath you. Give your arms a little focus. Well, imagine perhaps that you have a big 40-pound wooden yoke coming down and resting on your shoulders. You can maybe imagine a bucket of maple sap hanging off of each side, so that your arms are strong, but yet your core is upright, so you can hold a significant amount of weight up on your shoulders. And the arms stay that way now as you press through the right knee and guide the left knee forward to kneeling warrior, and then back up and forward and up. Good, forward and hold in kneeling warrior there. And now bending at the left hip, coming out over that leg to a kneeling lunge. Now keep that knee out there a little past the ankle so the knee is about at the center of the foot. Curl the back toes under. And as you press into the feet here, we're going to lift the back leg up. Make a nice extension through the back leg, so there's that sense of straight extension through the back leg, yet not locking the knee. And you're back on the ball of the foot there. So the foot's maybe at a 45-degree angle to the floor. Press so strongly into the feet, you can bring your arms up. And maybe give them a focus again. You can imagine that big 40-pound wooden yoke again across your upper back. Hold that lunge and press into your feet strongly for a few seconds. The pelvis is squared to the floor. The core has a nice extension. Keeping that knee out there past the ankle. Bring the shoulder girdle back to upright and press into the feet again. And then push with the foot back up. What we call upright triangle here. The heel is lifted. Shoulders relaxed. Press into the feet again strongly. And upright triangle. Good, now we'll come down the way we went up. Find a nice push of extension through the back leg as you guide the front knee straight ahead out and touch past the ankle to an upright warrior here and press into the feet again strongly. And then as you bend at that left hip, coming out to a lunge again where the core is extended in line with the back leg, press into the feet again. Build strength for a moment. And then gently lower the knee down. All right, good. Now we'll switch the sides. Bring the left knee up, left knee under you, right leg come up and out in front of you. And once again, the shin is angled forward out to a pointed foot, giving that knee a nice big ability to, nice room to move forward out toward the center of the foot and back. All right, good. Core is upright. Shoulders can be relaxed down to the ears as though you could hold a big, heavy 40-pound wooden yoke up on your shoulders. Press through the left knee. That should feel like there's a sense of straightening through that left hip as you do that. And keep that press through the knee as you go to kneeling warrior. And back up. And forward. And up. All right, forward and hold in kneeling warrior. And as you bend at that right hip, coming out to a kneeling lunge. Fingertips can be down here to help you get a lunge set. Curl the back toes under. Press into the feet strong. Remember, you can always have a chair near you here for balance if you need to. Lift the back leg up. Give a nice extension through the leg. Keeping that front knee out a touch past the ankle. Nice strong extension through the back leg. Press into the feet. Bringing the arms up. Imagine your big wooden yoke across the back again. And press to the feet strongly right down into the floor to build strength through the legs. Keeping that heel lifted, but still well back behind the ball of the foot. Then bring the shoulder girdle back to upright, pressing into the feet. Back to upright triangle. Heel stable, shoulders relaxed, little bend in the knees, pressing into the feet. All right, good. Now on the way down, a nice push of extension through the back leg as you guide the front knee back to upright warrior, pressing into the feet strongly there again. And then bending at that right hip, coming out to a lunge there with the core of the body in line with the back leg, pressing into the feet again strongly. And gently to the knee. All right, great. Let's head back up for one round of standing positions. So back to downward dog again. All right, good. From downward dog, we'll just walk back through the same wide leg stance that we came down out of. So, taking the legs walking on back wide out toward the edges of the mat or even beyond. The hands back towards the feet, plenty of bend in the knees. That should let everybody safely and strongly get back up from the ground and back up to mountain at the front of the mat. All right, good. So here we are, standing at the front of the mat again. Feet are parallel, touch of a bend in the knees. And then from here, we're going to step back to what's called a side stance. So leaving the left foot and knee straight ahead, we'll take the right leg and step it back to a side stance. The leg turns to about a 45-degree sideways angle relative to straight ahead. Good. Put the front foot, knee or left in the original straight ahead direction. Nice little bend in the knees, line the knees up with the feet. All right, good. And once again, to give your arms a reference point, imagine a nice 40-pound wooden yoke up on your shoulders. Without twisting the back leg, simply take the arms and square them up to the front of the mat. There's a little bit of a spinal twist there. Again, not a twisting of the back leg that collapses the back foot at all. All right, we'll call this upright triangle again. Press down into the feet strongly. Again, using a press to your base to build leg strength with a clear press to the feet. All right, good. From there, give a nice push off the back foot as you guide the front knee down to warrior, upright warrior, and then back to upright triangle. Get down to upright warrior again, where the knee is allowed to come up just a little past the ankle. And back up, and the thigh is coming about to parallel to the floor. And then down and hold an upright warrior, pressing into the feet strongly there for a moment. Using that same press to the base, trying not to have the front knee pull back, but keep it out there in the warrior, challenging the strength. Good, and then back up. Now bring the hands down. There's a few little imaginary jobs we're going to do here. So we're going to imagine 2 10-pound pails of sand, one on each side of your heel. As you come down through warrior, hold warrior, and now bending at the left hip, we're going to come out to a lunge from the side stance this time. Coming down to imagine grabbing 2 pails of sand, press into the left foot strongly, and push you into little pails of sand all the way back to upright triangle. And then right back down again, through warrior, out to a warrior lunge to leave your pails there. Then shift back to triangle here. We have the pointed foot of triangle. So the left foot is now pointed, the leg is much straighter, but it's not locked at the knee. And then pick up the ball of the foot. This is just a little ankle flexion movement here to work on the flexibility through the back of the leg, holding the flexion of the left ankle. Nice press down through the left heel, while at the same time you take your core and give it a nice extension by pressing back through the sitting bones and out through the head. All right, good. Lower that foot back down. Imagine grabbing 2 more pails of sand and triangle here. Press down into the left foot strongly and lift up and out of triangle lunge, and then back down, bending at the left hip, coming out to a triangle lunge to leave the little pails there. All right, good. Back to upright. Now we're going to imagine as you come out into warrior, this time that perhaps 2 lawnmowers are hanging from the ceiling upside down, and they need a pull start. In other words, we're going to give a strong pull straight from above out of warrior. So you push off the right foot, come down to warrior again, hold warrior, and this time we're going to incorporate a little more spinal extension. Arms up, parallel to each other, but keep the shoulders down from the ears, keeping the forearms parallel. Imagine you grab 2 lawnmower cords that need 80 pounds of pull. Good strong press into the feet while holding warrior. And imagine a nice strong pull with the arms. And as the elbows go behind you, shoulder blades strongly anchor the arms to the back. Push back up and back to mountain. All right, one more leg to do. Right foot stays straight out in front of you this time. Left leg can step back to a side stance again. So we have the front foot straight ahead again. Back foot about 45 or so degrees sideways. A little bend in the knees. Line the knees up with the feet. Square the arms up to the front of the mat. Remember not to twist the back leg and the pelvis. They stay set back there with the back leg. With the arms relaxed and the core upright. A nice press down into the feet. Upright triangle. Pressing right through the center soles of the feet, between the heel and the ball of the foot. Checking that neither knee is locked as you press. All right, good. Now, as you get a nice push of extension through the back leg, guide the front knee down into warrior. a warrior again, bending at the right hip, coming up to a warrior lunge. Grab your 2 imaginary 10-pound pails of sand. Get a nice press into the right foot there. And a good push all the way back to upright triangle. And then right back down. Guiding the knees through warrior, out to a warrior lunge to leave the pails there. And then shift the leg to triangle again, a much straighter front leg at the knee, but not locked, and clearly a pointed foot out there. And then flex that right ankle, picking up the ball of the right foot, rolling from the bottom of the heel toward the back of the heel, and then get a nice down and forward press through the heel, with a straightening sense of press through the heel, while extending your core, pressing back through the sitting bones and out through the head. Good, lowering that foot then under control, back to straight ahead. Imagine grabbing your pails of sand, press to the right foot, and a good lift. Up and out of triangle lunge, back to upright triangle. And then back down, bending at the right hip, incorporating a nice extension through your core as you put the little imaginary pails back down. Then all the way back up, down to warrior again, bending at the knee, holding warrior. Now incorporate that spinal extension and reach again. Yeah, shoulders are down from the ears, forearms are pillows. It's not an overreach of the arms. Imagine 80 pounds of pull needed from the arms, the press of the feet, and imagine a nice strong pull going forward. And as the elbows go behind you, shoulder blades strongly into the arms to the back. Push back up, back to mountain. All right, good. Thanks for joining me today.